Okay, I see something here I want to report on, and I want to talk about. I see it as being important for all the people that are out there that are in the cryptocurrency space. Now, the cryptocurrency that's been around the longest is Bitcoin. It's the one everybody's most familiar with. And they've set up payment companies that immediately convert the Bitcoin over into cash, and they pay the other companies cash. So the other companies connect with a company like BitPay or whatever, and they take the Bitcoin and they take it for whatever merchandise, and then they convert it. The company converts it into cash immediately, and then they get paid in cash. And there's a lot of stores and stuff that they don't mind getting paid in cash, and they don't mind hooking up the Bitcoin, provided they get flipped over into cash, like boom, boom, like that. So it's basically a conversion from the Bitcoin into cash. And that's how people have been paying for things with Bitcoin, making it a pseudo-currency, not really a currency. Now, we also have the issue of scalability. Bitcoin is limited roughly at 7 transactions per second. Now, Bitcoin is working on their scalability issues, and a number of the other coins have already solved their scalability issues to a certain degree. Now, they can get these currencies, like Bitcoin, so that Bitcoin can in the future, get up, I can see it going to 30,000 transactions a second to be able to match other real transactions on real time, like Visa or so on, and which I think in normal time frame in Visa is something like 5,000 per second or something like that. Anyway, it's enough to cover the whole world. So just Bitcoin alone, they can get that trend by using things like SegWit and the Lightning Network, and they got an awful lot of other things at their disposal, and there'll be new technology coming along as time progresses. So scalability ultimately is not going to be an issue. Also, when you consider how many other cryptocurrencies there are out there who are going to be even more scalable than Bitcoin and able to take some of the heat off of the cryptocurrency space. Like, we don't just have one currency in the world. We've got US dollar, and we've got the Canadian dollar, and we've got the lira, and all these different currencies, I mean, all over the earth, the rubles and the yuan, the renminbi, I mean, and all of them. We got all these different currencies, all functioning in their own space. Well, if anybody's been noticing, cryptocurrency has been doing exactly the same thing. It's been forming all of these different currencies. We call them alt currencies, because Bitcoin has basically been taking the position like the US dollar is as the de facto world reserve cryptocurrency. But then we have all these other cryptocurrencies that are acting like the other currencies on the earth. So this thing is forming, it's metamorphosizing, and it's forming its own currency space separate from the regular currencies. But this is what the point I want to really get to on this. It's a very viable point. Say a man was driving through someplace, I don't know where he'd be on the earth, but say he was driving through, him and his wife, and he looked out the window and he drove through miles and miles of this deep, dense, dark forest, and say that it had been dry for months, and the forest had all turned brown. He could see all these brown leaves as he was driving through. Say he was in Australia someplace, I don't know where he'd be, but just making all this up as I go along, but say he was driving through all this forest on both sides of the road, and say it was so deep and dense and dark. And he looked at his wife and he said, "You know what?" He said, "All of that is tinder dry. It's been dry for months. And feel how hot the sun is, and there's a breeze out there." He said, "If somebody even throws a cigarette out their window, the whole thing would take off and go woof, and just everything would be ablaze," he says to himself, to his wife. And his wife nods. She says, "Yeah, you're right, This whole thing is just a tinderbox ready to go up at any specified moment." Well, where I'm going with this is a similar situation in the cryptocurrency space. to these payment providers of Bitcoin, they're paying in dollars. But I see this whole thing like a forest that's ready to burn with the cryptocurrencies. And what I mean by that is that it's been going up, cryptocurrencies. Now it's doing the leveling off business that it always does. But you know in the future at some point it's going to do the big bull run again, like it just did. And each time it does this big bull run, cryptocurrency, it gets more and more stronger with more and more people wanting to get into the space. This is almost like the forest getting drier and drier. I'm getting to my point, what I'm going to try to explain. As this whole thing gets more and more power behind it, more and more people start to say, hey, you know, these cryptocurrencies have been going up now so long that I want to get in. A lot of people are in the future, in the next bull run, say a year or 2 years from now, looking out into the future. A lot of people are suddenly going to say, hey, you know, I want to get in. And they're going to be, let's say they're going to be a store owner or something. You know? And they're just going to say to themselves, gee, you know, I would like to get paid in Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever and be able to put them away for my retirement or whatever they're going to say to themselves. I'd like to get some. And what they're going to do is they're going to start to accept, for their business that they own, they'll start to accept Bitcoin or Litecoin or some as payment with the idea in mind that they're going to put them away themselves, keep them themselves and not go through a payment. They don't want the dollars. See, up till now, these companies have been providing these other companies with dollars. And they say, okay, you know, come on in and we'll convert them right to dollars immediately, and you're going to actually get paid in dollars. But there's going to be a time coming when these guys are going to say, hey, you know, we don't want you to come in and sell our product and us immediately get dollars. We don't even want to bother with you. We're going to just go directly and we're going to take the Bitcoin as payment or the Litecoin as payment. These companies. And once one company starts doing it, then another one will start doing another one, and then it'll become an accepted practice. And this is like the forest fire starting on fire and the whole thing starting to burn. Because when they start doing that and they start actually putting these coins away as savings, that's just going to make these coins go up faster. See? And then what will happen is then more people are going to want to get on board for this as their savings. And what's this going to do to because the potential, when you look at each individual Bitcoin as breaking down, or each individual one of these cryptocurrencies, they're all very similar. You could take Ethereum and you can break it down into 99 million little pieces. Same way with Bitcoin, all of them, they're very similar that way, is they break down into much, much smaller units. It's like, the whole thing is like a black hole for money. You know how the black hole, when you go past the event horizon, it's going to suck you in? Well, I think with these cryptocurrencies, we've already passed, not many people have noticed it, but we've already passed the event horizon. And these cryptocurrencies are actually going to win. There's no stopping them now. They've reached a point where it's like the black hole. When you pass a certain point, there's no escaping it anymore. It's going to suck you in. And this is the way with these cryptocurrencies. They have the power to suck up all of the world's value and transfer it into these cryptocurrencies. And because they're able to actually transfer their value across the network without a middleman, if the bankers can't stop these things, they have the potential to actually rid the world of a number of things that we've grown up and we've become used to. Things like, the banks for one, acting as a middleman, and things like accountants, certified public accountants, taking care of the books. And we all know that how many, it's almost a joke how many they have a second set of books, because this is all just a crooked racket. But when it's all of this can be done with the autonomous ledger, and it can the world wouldn't need accountants anymore, even ultimately, because it's all done by computer. We're entering into a new world, these cryptocurrencies are going to have their place in this new world as money. Well, the way I see it is almost like when the light bulb was coming in and the old gas lamps were being pushed out. There was an awful lot of people back then, that said, hey, these light bulbs will never make it. We're always going to have gas lamps. And in fact, even after the light bulbs had come out, 20 years later, they were still building new homes and putting the piping in for the gas lamps instead of light bulbs. And this was way after they'd had light bulbs a long time. But eventually the light bulb won because it was better. And this is the way with these cryptocurrencies. They're faster. You can send money so fast, it's like lightning across the internet. When you have the internet as your means of you're going to transmit money from one place to another, cryptocurrencies are the way to go. Forget banks; they can take days while they process your whatever they're going to process, and then they charge a big fee, and they charge 5% of your money or whatever just to send it halfway around the world, and they take days to approve it. Where a cryptocurrency, you just push the button on your computer, and bing, it's there. Look, I've just bought it. Look, it just registers. It's already paid for. And you're verified with your receipt over the public ledger. I mean, it's so much better that it's just a no-brainer who's going to win ultimately in the end. I mean, they can fight this all they want. They can try to put in government legislation to fight it, but that would just be one country. While the rest of the world, they would still be adopting it. Say one country decided to fight it, they're just going to get left behind, that country that tries to fight it. Even if it's a big country like the United States, if they try to legislate and fight it, they're just going to get left behind on this. Eventually it's going to end up winning anyway in the end, because the rest of the world will adopt it. It would have to be, the only way they'd really be able to stop it is practically they would have to stop the internet, and they would have to go through country after country after country and have a unanimous fight against it. And all the countries of the world be in on it and be working together to try to stop it and squeeze it out. And when's the last time we've seen all the countries on Earth working together on anything? When's the last time countries like, say, North Korea wanted to work with the other countries in unanimously working together on a single project? I mean, they're all at odds with each other. They don't work together. And so this is going to win. The cryptocurrency space is going to win. So the thing is if you've got positions in cryptocurrency, and an awful lot of people that are listening to me now, if you've listened to me this long, you've got a position in cryptocurrency. I can almost say it with 100%, right? I'm going to tell you right now, do not sell your position. And when the market's moving down like it is right now, do not sell your position. Hold it no matter how low she goes, because she's going to ultimately turn at a certain point, and the next bull market's going to be way bigger than the last one. And if you sell, you're going to lose a lot of money. That's what you're going to do. You're just going to lose money, and you're going to be wishing you hadn't sold, and you're going to be, it's not going to be pretty, because you're going to be kicking yourself in the future if you've sold at a bottom. What to do is sit and hold your position right now. Watch her go lower. If she goes to a certain price point, really, really low, buy some more. Hold. And when she starts to go up this next time, you're going to be so glad you held, because I'm going to tell you next time she's going to go up. Every time, in fact, it's going to be higher and higher and higher. And you're not too late to get in. This whole thing is not in the bubble. This whole thing is in its infancy. You go out and ask people on the street, say, do you know what cryptocurrency is? Most of them will say, no, we don't know what it is. Or ask them, do you know what Bitcoin is? You're going to have to ask 99 people before you finally find that one person who knows what it is. Well, in the end, they're all going to know what it is. They're all going to be forced to know what it is, because it's going to be money. And in fact, these scaling issues with Bitcoin's always survived everything. I've watched it survive over and over and over and over again. It'll survive this, and it'll come out the other side. It always comes out higher in the end. And I believe myself that Bitcoin is not going to be the actual currency of Bitcoin is going to be more like gold. It's going to be money. And it's going to be when people want to transfer big amounts of money. They're going to use Bitcoin to transfer big amounts of money. Even Litecoin is going to be similar. What's going to end up being the actual coins that actually become coins you go to buy a cup of coffee with are going to be more of the coins that are maybe in the 4th or 5th position down, maybe even the 7th position down. Because take a look at the world the way it is now. We've got room for an awful lot of different types of currencies out there. And they all exist simultaneously, and they're all worth a lot. You can, like the dollar's it is a de facto, it takes the position of Bitcoin, but there's a lot of others and they all coexist simultaneously. So there's room in the world for all these cryptocurrencies to exist simultaneously as well. Each one holding a certain position and holding a certain value. Just like they're doing now, except that value is going to be exponentially higher than it is now. So listen, thank you very much for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next article. Bye.